So to kickstart OBS, you just click on OBS to open it. And this is a brand new OBS platform where you can have all your document, all your footage being edited over here. You can upload, you can go live stream and do all sort of things. The first thing you see at the top is the preview canvas. Okay, this is where you can preview. This is where you go ahead and do your live streaming. And if you have an audio, this is where you see a preview of what you are going to record. Is it your camera? Is it your screen? Or is it a live stream? You'll be able to see the before and after, or before you even go live. This is the preview canvas. Next, you have the controls over here to the bottom right, where you have the start streaming option. Once you click on this, it's going to start streaming and you go live using any kind of platform that you choose. You have the start recording option. In cases when you want to record your screen, you can just click on this to start recording. And you have start virtual camera. You can start virtual camera and you can go on studio mode. Studio mode enables you to have a preview of what you're going to send online before you go private. Okay, later on I will show you how to use all this. And then lastly, you have the settings. Okay, the settings is the most basic thing you check before you start recording or before you start going live on any of on OBS. And then you have the exit button. Anytime you want to close, you can come to exit and just exit. Okay, the next thing to the left of it is a scene transition. In cases when you want to transit from one scene or the preview scene to the program scene, the live scene, you can always change the effects over here. This is fade in. You have other effects like cut in and many more. Okay, this is the duration it's going to take for the transition. Okay, next you have the audio mixer. This is where you specify all your devices, all the audio device and how they perform. You see them over here. Okay, you see the mic OX, the auxiliary mic and everything, and the desktop audio, everything. The input and output device you can specify from here, and you can come to these three dots and have a bunch of properties to play around with. Okay, so you can have advanced audio properties, or you can change and reassign them accordingly. You have the other one for the audio, for the desktop audio as well. Next to it is the sources. Sources are just like subset of scenes. Okay, you have to have a scene, then under a scene you have sources depending on what kind of source you want to use. For example, you may have series of sources of input. For example, you have audio input capture. What device do you want to use to capture audio output capture? A browser, do you want to show your browser behind or something? Color source and display capture. Images, you want to add all this media source. And text, do you want to add text to your recording or thereabout? The VLC video source, if you have any video capture device, you can specify all that from the sources under a given scene. Okay, so you can have multiple scenes. Scenes are what define the sources. Okay, what houses the sources. Okay, scenes are like the big house, and then the sources are like the content of that particular house. So I'll show you in detail how to use the sources and how to navigate around very easily and fantastically. So the next thing I want to show you is the settings. Once you come to settings over here, you can get to the settings by coming to settings directly over here. So by just clicking on settings, it's going to bring you over here. So the first thing you need to notice is you have the general settings. The general shows you the language and the theme that you are going to use. You can check the language if you want. There are a bunch of languages that you can choose from if you want. And you have the theme. This is the black theme. You can have the light one if you want, and everything is going to change to light just like so. But I think I prefer the yummy one, which is the dark one. Okay, the default one, which is everything black. I prefer this. You can check on this and you can change to anyone of your choice. And then you have the output. Usually I don't touch anything over here. Everything is left in a default. And then you have the source alignment snapping. Everything is set to default as well. And then you can have the projectors if you have any. You have system tray. You have preview options over here. I usually don't touch any of these. And then the importers, the studio mode, you're free to just check through around and see which of the settings you may want to change depending on the condition or the atmosphere you find yourself. And then you have the streaming. Streaming, you can stream on any different service. For example, you can stream to Twitch, you can stream to YouTube, and you can stream live on Facebook. You can go to Restream, and you can stream on YouTube and Twitter. You can go live very easily and fantastically. So all you need to do is to select the platform you want to go live on. For example, YouTube. All you need to do is to just go ahead and use the stream key. So you just click on stream key. You just find the key on the YouTube page that you are trying to go live on. For example, in my own case, I'm trying to go live over here, so you just come over here. This is the default stream key, so you just copy this stream key and just go back over there and just paste it. And you can just come over here and paste it. You can show the key if you want, and you can just get stream key, or you can just paste it over here. Once you paste it, it's going to connect this device with the streaming platform that you want to stream on. So the next thing is the output. You can specify the output. The streaming output, usually output mode is set to simple. The video bitrate usually is 5000 kilobyte per second, depending on what kind of video quality you want. For 1080p, it's recommended between 3000 to 6000, so you can just go ahead and use 5000 is okay. And then you have the recording. I don't change anything over here. The recording format is usually set at MP4. If you want to specify the path, you can come over here. If you're not certain with the location it has specified, you can just go ahead and specify wherever you want your recordings to be saved. You can just navigate around and just save it over there. So the next thing is you can have recording format MP4, and then you have I don't usually touch anything over here, recording and streaming, except for the location. I just specify the location that I want. Next is the audio. You have the properties of the audio to select. At the general, you'd have the 48 kilohertz, which I don't touch, and then the channels is usually stereo. The only thing I usually touch here is the mic auxiliary audio, which you can just select and the drop down and select the particular mic you are using. These are the range of mics connected to my device. I use the Rode NT USB, so I just select it, and it's going to be my default mic for the recording in cases when I want to record. The next thing is the video. You can check on the video resolution. This is the base canvas. What resolution do you want? The highest is the 1920 by 1080, which is usually the 16:9 aspect ratio. You can select this, and the output scale resolution as well to be 1920 by 1080. So you can specify the frame rate per second over here, the FPS. You can go ahead and specify. You have a range of it from 10 to 60. You can go as far as 60 frame rates per second. But for my own case, I usually go with 30 frame rate per second. Next, you have the hotkeys. In cases when you want to improve the streaming or the editing process or the recording process, you can have shortcut keys that enable you start streaming and stop streaming, or start recording and stop recording, and stuff like that. Assigning shortcut keys can help you become faster and much more effective and efficient in your recordings and dealing with OBS in general. So feel free to try it to see what you can customize and what hotkeys you can put to be able to have a best experience in the OBS studios. Next is the accessibility. I usually don't touch anything here. The color codes and everything, I don't touch anything here. And then the advanced features, you can see I don't touch anything here as well. We have the video recording features, and we have the recordings as well, the video properties and the recordings, and then we have the stream delay. I usually touch on this to reconnect. Okay, automatically reconnect. In case when I'm going live, it's going to reconnect after 2 seconds. If there is an internet issue or a problem, it's going to surely reconnect for after 2 seconds. So I usually keep this enabled. So this is very important to have it enabled. Okay, so this is about the settings generally. This is the one of the ways you can say once you finish setting up everything, you can just come over here and click on apply, and it's going to take in the features that you have selected. If you want to access the settings from another place, again, you can come to the top over here, come to OBS Studio, and come to preferences, and it will bring you over here to the same settings. Well, the next thing is how to create scenes and sources. Okay, so to create a scene, you can just come all the way over to the scene buttons, scene platform over here, and at the bottom left, you can just hit on this plus sign to add a scene. For example, this is scene 2. We can just before we add scene 2, let me just rename scene 1. So we can just right click and come to rename, and we can make this the main camera. Okay, so we can call this the main camera as the first scene, and then you can come to sources. What do you want to add on the source? You can just come all the way and click on the plus sign over here. So for main camera means we have to capture, you can do video capture device down here. So you just click on video capture device, and you can see video capture device here. You can see you can do main computer camera. and you can say okay. Make sure the source visible is selected over here always, and then click on OK. And then this is where you specify the device, okay, what device you're going to use. So you can just come to this drop down and you see the list of all the cameras that you can use. For example, you have the Chris camera, you have the C922, which is the camera I use as my webcam, and then we have the Face HD, which is the system camera that I use, so which is the one that I'm going to select. So selecting this, and you can see me very nicely. So this is my camera. I can just make sure that this preset is set to high at any given point, which is very important. And once I select this, I can just click on OK, and it's going to take this as my main camera under this scene. So you can always right click on this and come to transform and say fit to screen, and it's going to feed up everything to the entire screen. Okay, so this is the main camera. You can add another scene. For example, I can add this and say my webcam. I can add this and say my webcam, which is the second scene, and I can come to the sources and click on this and maybe come to still media capture. I can say media capture, and then I can say webcam and then say okay. Okay, the name is already in use, so let's say my logi capture, which is the name of my webcam. I just click on OK, and then here I specify the device. For example, I say C922, which is going to give me the webcam angle. Okay, so this is from my webcam directly. You can see me. So this is the webcam. I click on OK, and we can go ahead and add another scene. So the next thing is we can add screen recording. If you want to add a screen record, if you want to record or capture your screen, all you need to do is to come to the scene again, and maybe we can make it a different scene. We can just come to the plus sign and we can make it screen capture. Right, hit on enter, and then we can just start add the source over here from the plus sign. Over here you can come to display capture. Okay, so get the difference between video capture and display capture. Display capture will display whatever is displayed on your screen, or another way to say screen capture. So we just click on display capture and we can give it our screen record and just hit on enter, and this gives us the default everything on our screen. Okay, so all you need to do is to just make sure you leave everything at default. You can decide to show the cursor, or you may want to unshow it in cases when you don't want to show the cursor through the tutorial, but I always want to show it so that it becomes easy for my followers to understand what I'm teaching. Okay, so once you select everything, leave everything at default, you can just go ahead and click on OK, and over here you can decide to adjust the sizing by just holding at the edges and dragging. Okay, so that you can adjust the size just like so, and you have everything filled up. Okay, everything filled up like this, or you can right click easily, come to transform and come to fit to screen, and everything will be fit to the screen just like so. Okay, so once you're done, you can just go ahead and start recording. So this is your screen. You want to start recording, you can just hit on start recording. The next thing is you may want to add picture in picture, capture your screen recording, and then you can capture the picture as well while you are explaining using another device. So if you want to do picture in picture, you can just add another scene, and then you can call it display plus camera. So let's call it display plus camera, and you have it as a new scene, and then you can just go ahead and add. So the first thing is you capture the display. So we say window capture over here. Say Windows capture, so let's say desktop, and hit on OK, and it's to specify which windows to capture. Let's say we go with this entitled, and we capture this one, and then you can specify next is you add another scene, which you can maybe make it video capture this time around. So you can specify a webcam. Okay, so let's say webcam, and you click on OK, and specify the device over here. I want to capture my C922 while still explaining the videos, so you can just select OK, and you can see now everything is set. So because these are two scenes, you can easily move them around. You can switch them around. You can move one top, one bottom if you want, and or you can just select and minimize this one so that it becomes it comes to the bottom over here. So you have it's going to be like picture in picture. You have me explaining the features while you still have the other one. You can right click and come to transform and come to fit to screen, and then we have my you have the screen recorded, and then you have this picture of me explaining directly. So I can change the position so you can see me very clearly. So this is basically how to add any scene and then the sub scenes. You can add anything, you can add any other thing. You can come to the scene as well and add maybe media. If you want to add media, you can add media, and you can come over here and you may add different kind of media, from images to audio output capture. You may want to add color source. If you want the screen to be a plain color, you can just select, you can add color source, so you can have the color from here, or you can select color. You can just go ahead and add any color of your choice. If you want the screen to be this color, you can just select it and say okay, and everything is going to be on this color as your background color if you want this. And next, you can add other things. For example, you may want to add browser. You may want to add a browser. So let's say you want to add a browser, and you just go ahead and click on OK, and you can add any browser of your choice. You can add the URL from here. You can just maybe add in www.google.com, and you'll be able to see the preview of it over here. So this is Google, and mind you, you can still interact with it from here directly, and you may add others as well. You can add different kind of media source. You can add images in slideshow. You can add slideshow, multiple images. You can just select and just navigate to wherever you want to bring in the image. This is the visibility behavior. How do you want it to behave? Stop when not visible, restart when visible. You can set all this and the other features as well. You can select, and then you can put in the image files over here. You can add multiple images, add files, okay, or add directory where you have all the files. You can just navigate around and just bring in the images very fantastically. So you can just come over here. For example, I have this image, maybe I have another image as well. I have this image and I have this image. I want to bring in just this, and I can just put them. I can import all of them with the directory. You can see, and once I say okay, you can see them showing behind the screen, part of my background as my media, but in slideshow mode. You can see them. You will be sliding and changing just like so, to just be sliding behind me, something like that. And then you can add, subsequently you can add other media, other sources as well. If you've added, you can add videos, you can add text. If you want to add text, you can just say add text, and you can just say okay, and then you can specify what text you want to add. You can type the text over here. This is a text. Okay, so this is a test, something like that. It's going to show behind you. If you have a name, or if you want to put in your name, for example, you may want to say Dr. Rashid, and you want to put it, and once as you are going live, you can say Rashid speech and presentation coach. Okay, so you can have this, and you can position it within the as you are delivering your presentation or your speech. We may have this. You can play around with the section fonts. You can check between the different fonts and the sizes. You can see different font style. You can select any and play around with the sizes. Right now it's 256. You can make it 45, and you can check the strike out. You can strike out. You can do underline. You can do writing system. You can check all of this, and you can bold. You can italize. You can oblique. You can do anything of your choice. You can do anything of your choice basically. So once you say okay, it's going to be like this. And you can change the position as well. You can bring it down, and position is somewhere here, and I may want to change the color because white may not be that good. So you can come down to see the color option. So you can see color 1 and color 2. In cases when you want to go with more than one color, you just select and specify which color do you want, and say okay, and you can see this is it has changed completely. So feel free to just go ahead and try it and play around with this. You can have drop shadow also if you want, so it pops out and stay different. And you can have custom text width and word wrap if you want. You can have outlines if you want, and so the picture, the image, or the text can stand out professionally and look very nice. So this is basically how to add text and add media within as your sources. Okay, you can add many more things as well. You can add videos even. Okay, you can add image. We've added image. We can add display capture. We've added a browser. You can add media source as well. If you want to add in a video, you can just click and just go ahead and just add directly, and you can just select the location of the file that you want to add. For example, and you want to add a given file, just navigate and select this one, for example, and just bring it in. Or let me see, I'll change it to something else. Okay, so let's say we bring in something like this, and we can say okay, you can loop it if you want, you can restart playback if you want, or do anything according to your choice. Once you say okay, it's going to take effect, and you can see this is the media or the video that we've just brought in. If you make it to loop, it's going to loop continuously. So down here in the sources, this is how to bring in different kind of source. You can enable or disable, like we have said. You can disable the media source, you can disable the text if you want, and you can disable the image slides, or you can disable the browser and the color source as well, so it looks kind of blank, and you can enable whichever one you want to enable at any given point. Or you want to lock this with this key icon. Okay, you can lock any of the sources to prevent any changes. Okay, so over here you have the properties. At any given point you want to check on anything, you can have its properties over here, and like I said earlier, you can move the different features, the different sources, you can move them around. So one will come at the top, and you can have one come before there, about you can reshuffle all of them directly. Alright, so I made this thumbnail about benefits of reading using the video scribe, so you can just have a look. I'm just recording my screen. So once you're done recording your screen, you can either come to the top over here and see OBS Studio. You can come over here, say stop recording, or alternatively you can still come back to the software and come over here and say stop recording. You can stop recording, or you can pause the recording as well from here. You can pause, or you can just click on stop recording, and right now it has stopped the recording. Okay, it has stopped the recording. So in order for you to see what you have recorded, you can just all the way come over here to the top, and you can come to OBS over here, file, you can see show recordings, and you can remove recording in cases when you want to convert it to another format. You can just come to show recording, and it will show you the folder which it has recorded your video to. So this is my folder that I've just recorded. You can just right click and just open with, for example, VLC, and let me have a preview or a look at. You can start recording on screen. For example, this video about benefits. About benefits of reading using the video scribe. So you can just have a look, just recording my screen. So once you're done recording the screen, you can either come to the top. So you can see it has just played it exactly as I have recorded it. So you can easily go ahead and pick this recording and share it with any of your platforms, or you can do some basic editings, and then you can upload to any platform or share with anyone that you are interested in sharing it with. The next thing I want to show you is how to start streaming. Okay, you can stream live on YouTube, on Facebook. You can go Facebook Live like I've explained. So to start streaming, all you need to do is to click on start streaming from here, or you can come to the studio mode over here, so you can have an idea of what it is before it goes live. You can stop streaming, and you can see the preview over here. Like I said, this is the preview before you go live. You can adjust anything, and you can decide to show whatever you want to show. For example, I want to show myself before I go live. Once you hit it on this transform, once you hit on this transition, it's just going to send live to the program. Okay, so people can now be able to see you. So right now I've started streaming live because I have enabled my YouTube channel to start going live. I've inserted the key that I have shown you. So once you click on start transition, whatever you are previewing, your audio can be able to see it. If it is a video, you can see a display of the camera or something, or you want to play a given media before you start, it is as well going to show just like that. Once you show transition, you are going to see it over here on the other main program media. Okay, so you can see it over here displaying. So whatever you have, you can preview it before you send it to the audience. So you can do that all the way from the scenes over here. Okay, so that is actually how to start some basic recording, screen recording, and streaming videos and going live on OBS. It's a very fantastic software. You can just try it and see it. And once you go live, another thing that I forgot to show you is you can see the live time over here at the bottom right? You can see the lifetime, how much time you've stayed, how much of the recordings you have done, and your CPU speed and frame rates per second. You can see all that from here. In cases when you have issues with the live recording, you can see it over here. When you are live, you will see. When you are disconnected, you will still see, and how much of the recordings have you recorded. Another thing I would like to show us is how to add filters. Okay, add different filters to our display. So for example, I can stop the studio mode, and we can I will try to show you how to add filters. So to add filters, we can just come all the way over here. Assuming we want to add filters to our webcam, you can see me right now. So I want to add filters to this. I can just come to the filters over here and click on filters, and then I can come. I have audio effects. In cases when you want to add some audio effects, you can come to the plus sign over here. You can see compressor, expander, gain. If you want to increase the gain or reduce the gain, you can do all that from here. And you have the limiter options. You can do noise gate, you can add it as a filter. You can do noise suppression or VST or thereabout. Or the video delay, you can do all that. You can change all that from here. So depending whatever filter you want to add to improve your audio quality, you can add it from here. Then you have other effect filters. When you come over here, you can see different kind of bunch of effects. You can do chroma keying, you can apply lots if you have, you can do color correction, you can do color keying, and many more. You can see luma key. I usually use color correction if you want to go live on stream, so I can just add and just give it a name, color correction, and just go ahead and say okay. And you have this bunch of features, color correction settings like the gamma, the contrast, the brightness, and the saturation. You can go ahead and increase or decrease accordingly, and you'll be able to see the effect on your video before you go on live. You can increase or decrease the contrast so that it can appear much more professional. The brightness you can reduce or increase accordingly, and then you can increase or decrease the saturation as well so that your video can look much better. Alright, so you can just go ahead and tweak it to anything, any amount of tweak you can give it to sound and look professional. You can play around with the opacity as well, depending on your choice. Okay, so I can just play around with this. Once you are certain you are okay, you can check the color. You can put multiple colors or thereabout, and then you can see the color adds. You can select from this and change accordingly. So there's so much controls that you can add. Once you add a given control or a given filter, it takes care of that while you're going live and streaming live or recording your video and maybe screen. The next thing that I want to show you is how to crop the picture-in-picture video or video in video. You can crop the size and make it a little bit smaller so that it can appear professional and fantastic. So to do that, all you need to do is to make sure you are on the display plus camera, okay, just like so, and then you can come all the way over here to the sources. You can come to select the webcam, and then you can come to filters over here, and you can add the effects, filter effects. You can just come all the way to the plus sign, and then you can go to crop pad. You just select on crop/pad and just create a crop. You can add a crop over here. So you have the different options over here. So you have the left options, the top option, the right option, and the bottom option. You can decrease or increase accordingly. So right now I want to decrease the left, the right option. I want to decrease the size. You can see it. You can do that manually, or you can just put in the number. Let's say we put 67. And let's see the effects. Let's see the effects on the main. So you double click on the effects. You can see we put in 67. Let's say we put in something like 500. This might be small. So you can see the effect 500. It reduces it from the right. Let's put something like 400 from the left as well, so that we can see. This is the bottom. Let's put it at the left. Let's put something like 400 and see how much you have reduced it. So you can see it has reduced the size drastically to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so you can see it captures the major part. So let's make this one 400 as well, so we can have that small camera side. So let's say 400, that small speaker side. So you can say 400, and you can see everything is rightly put intact. So you can just select this and and say close, because this is how to basically add crop. You can add cropping, you can crop to your selection. You can even do that from the top and bottom as well, in cases when you don't want to show the key details of your body and you want to show maybe directly, you don't want to show the gadgets, you just want to show your face directly. So easily you can do that with OBS, and you can do that by just adding on filters and the cropping part, enabling the cropping, so it will enable you to do all that. So this is basically about OBS and how to use it for screen recording and live streaming. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons to stay connected to this channel for more of our very useful videos.